Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we have the opening round for Project Cars 2 being the Pagnian Imports GT3 Challenge, and tonight for round 1 we are at Monza GP. We've got a great series schedule with round 2 being Red Bull Ring, round 3 is Le Mans Bugatti Circuit, round 4 Laguna Seca, and then finishing up at Circuit of the Americas GP. So some great GT3 action ahead. We'll check out the event scheduled for tonight. We've got Division 2 heading over for 15 minutes of qualifying. Weather conditions are clear, and then the race is 15 laps. Weather is light cloud through to medium cloud with a mandatory pit. Then we'll have a break and then come back to start the second session with Division 1 at 8:45 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, which will race under those same conditions with 15 minutes of qualifying and a 15 lap race. So we'll check out the standings at the conclusion of our Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship. We had Balaki take the win for the series in Division 2, and then over for Division 1 we have Sami that took the win with a strong win too, with 806 points, with the second place down at 559 points, so a fantastic outcome there for Sami. We'll check out the standings. In the final race last week at Bathurst Mount Panorama for Division 2, Balaki qualified second, then went on to take the victory, securing that championship. And we saw Taijo take the fastest lap bonus points. And then over for Division 1, we had Sami qualify second as well, take the win, and then saw Corby take the fastest lap bonus points. So we'll check out the track now in Italy for Monza GP. Track length is 5.79 kilometers with 11 turns. Game time is 10 AM in the morning. So those track temperatures are going to be a little bit cool, but the clear weather conditions are going to start to warm that up, and then we'll progress as we head over into the race. And session now just loading up. Now over by the pits. If you're joining us for the stream, do jump in the chat, say hello. Let us know who you're here to cheer on. Come to cheer on your favourite drivers. Try a few predictions. Just let us know who you think is going to be taking pole position, take the win. Or even if you want to just select a manufacturer. So it's open up to the full GT3 class. However, a rather interesting selection of cars for Division 2. They're essentially almost running a Cadillac series. It hasn't usually been a commonly picked car. I don't think we've had too many actually run it at all over the last couple of years when we've ran GT3s. And the majority of the drivers are actually running the Cadillac. It'll be interesting to see how they go. It can be a big handful of the car. The thing that sounds fantastic though. Also, as you join us to stream, don't forget to hit that follow button so you're notified when we go live. Each Thursday night on Project Cars 2, and then at the same time on Monday nights where we've got iRacing, and if you love your GT3s, there's more GT3 action on those nights. We're running the GT3 series simultaneously on both platforms. And we've got 7 drivers loaded up at the moment. There's a few that we're waiting on just to join the session, so if you are going to be making a bit later, one may be a little bit fine in trying to make it from when they sent through. So we may see them probably joining at least towards that back end of qualifying. As long as they get in that last 3 minutes, they won't miss the start of the race, which is the main thing. And even a few of our Division 1 drivers will be absent from tonight. On for a lot of people at the moment, and Essen Gallen being one of those. He's jumped on the stream saying hi all the way from Bathurst. Hope everything runs smoothly for you for the 12-hour gal. There we go, we got a little bit of a lag skip as someone's joining in now. So we'll make our way through the list. We have Cool Boy running the Cadillac. Cadillac also for Hypes. Simo. So Simo waiting to get in. Is this updating his PS4? And Vortex also picking up the Cadillac. We have Steph. Oh, has this been a dropout? And a very much different sounding car with Mark choosing to drive the Lamborghini. That looks like an Acura there. Mark picking the Honda. Looks like a BMW from the roar of that going up the straight. That's D-Train. We'll try and jump on board for a lap around with one of the drivers in a moment. We'll even try and get on board through the different varieties. There we go, we've got Blarkey joining in. Not sure if it was that dropped out initially. Blarkey also in the Cadillac. Vortex sets the first time of 1:48.5. Listen to that thing as it hits that rev limiter. So there's 10.5 minutes left to qualifying. D-Train gets in his first time of 1:55. Pipes qualifies for 1:54. Vortex straight in with a pretty tight lap for the first time to lap. Definitely out on track. It wasn't expected. It was Dan Boone. Ended up disconnecting. Hopefully Dan can get back on. Larky now out on track. He was our championship winner for the V8 Supercar Championship. Given the Cadillac handles very much similar to the V8 Supercar. That the part of the strategy of going for the Cadillac. He had a fantastic series. Good boy, sets up 150, so he's qualified in second place, 2.3 seconds away from Vortex's time. Throughout this map, we see Vortex is along the back section. We should be able to jump on for a lap. Drive it very soon. Different roars from the different cars. Cool boy in the Cadillac. Over with onto the Beamer. D-Train. Chicanes that car a little bit slippery. That's the Lamborghini on board with Mark. We're not even staying for a lap. We're going to approach down into turn 1. Infamous chicanes. Very easy to misjudge. Very high incident, couple of corners. In that golden line to be able to get that exit out. So these next two corners you can get a lot of speed. And if you really mess up that chicane, there's a lot of pace. I'm very cautious of that inside curve. It is a gutter. It'll put that car straight out off the other side of the track. And in the second chicanes, going wherever those sausage curves, it'll really unsettle the car by bouncing it out across. Okay, yeah, look, track looks familiar. Started both formats off on the same track and even finishing up on the same track as well. Oh, lag spike as we've got someone else jumping in. Dan Boon's back in the session. After the back straight. Cautious of those curbs, and that curb on the right hand side also being a gutter will put that car into a slip. Try and drive that car out as far as you can onto that exit curb so you can get as much speed as you can for his final straight before turning onto the final corner. And then feather that through and then flat stick as tight as possible. Try and minimise your distance travelled on that last corner. Qualifying, you want to try and set that first lap up to be able to get out as wide as possible on the approach for that hot lap that you're aiming for, to carry as much speed as you can, and then on that lap that you're finishing up to aim for that golden time. Try and take that corner as tight as possible. And then that is a lap around Monza with Mark. Looks like Audi R8 LMS there. And then opting for that Audi. Yeah, we got Simo loading in now. He's got a minute 50 before it reaches that cutoff. Hopefully we see him make the session. He may not get time to get qualifying lap in, but it will at least see him make the start of the race. Yeah, 4.5 minutes. So you'll need to be in the next minute 30, Simo. So if you don't want to worry about livery selection too much, Simo, if you're running tight for time, as long as you got your car, you'll be stuck to use that car for the remainder of the series. But again, deal with a duplicate at the moment if that's cutting it fine for you. The Vortex gets in another quick lap, just setting a 47.404. Mark holds second, Steph qualifies in third. They're having bumped down Cool Boy. Doesn't improve on that lap. GT3 in the BMW, qualifying fifth. Won't be able to send you an invite, Skitty, unless you can quickly send one of the messages to the guys, but you've only got 15 seconds to be able to join. But I could probably throw you in the next session if you want, Skitty. Alright, the Cadillac sets a 151.7, he's qualified 6th. Oh, we can see a lag spike. We've got Simo in just in time. Look at that. So he was in the lobby just in time. And he's in Mercedes AMG. Oh, Dan Boone comes through with the Audi, setting a 148.6 away from that whole time. The top of the standings for qualifying rather divided by manufacturer, considering we've had ample amount of Cadillacs. Now seeing a good amount of spacing. the AMG demo. He's done well to be able to get in. He's already cutting it fine. Being able to make the session and having to quickly update his PS4 all in that time, still managed to make it, so he's not going to get that timed lap in. However, he's going to make the start of the race, that's the main thing. And he will still score points even for not setting a qualifying time. He'll at least get 10th position points. And hopefully he can try and make up all that lack of qualifying time in the race. See himself move up the ranks a little bit more. Not sure if we were on board with Akira. Yeah, awesome. Hey, Spray. Spray's down in Bathurst as well. I'm sure most of us would be loving to be down there at the moment. Marky Mark improves his time by a second. Doesn't move him up on the board. He did just cross the line in time to be able to get one more qualifying lap in. Qualifying now complete. This is final laps. We've got 2 minutes to get that last lap done. Oh, big slide in the chicane from that BMW. So that'll wrap up D-Train's qualifying. I think Hype's just across the line. So that'll be AI taking over his car now. Oh, no. What a slide. That car did lift a tad. That's AI driving that. F on a final lap for qualifying. She did get up into third until she was bumped down from Dan, taking that position 2. Again, I'm probably expecting it's going to be a very wet race for you on the weekend. Hopefully it doesn't just continuously rain and cause all sorts of dramas. I guess it's very typical for Bathurst, how to be throwing all the elements at you. Oh, Vortex doing some burnouts for us. Dirty, thanks for jumping the stream. And Jurassic Camp. We're all jumping on the stream. Don't forget everyone to use those sound effects down underneath as well. Beth doesn't improve her position. Mark just finishing up a lap, and there we are. Qualifying done for the opening round for Division 2. Vortex takes that pole position, setting a 147.404. Starting drive it again, that 7 margin. And then we have the rest of the grid. We have Dan Boone, Mark, Steph, Coolboy, D-Train, Hypes, Bolaki, Marky Mark, and Simo Simzel. So over to grid now. The drivers gear up, ready to start the opening race. Get a broader view that we can see more of the pack. Looks like we're gonna be that blessed. Charlie, thanks for jumping on the stream. Drivers, you have to make sure that they have their setups selected for the race and their pit strategies. It is crucial. It is custom setups for the series. Here's the cars edging forward. Really get away from the front two, but look at that Lamborghini absolutely flying. Mark looking to be able to make some positions. Even D-Train, the BMW gets away to a very good start. The Audi's now stuck in. Dan's taken the lead through turn one. Looks like a pretty clean getaway. The chicane gets through okay. A few drivers running off wide. Like a little bit of lag between Mark and Hypes there. Not sure if it was a flicker after the contact or if the flicker occurred beforehand. Vortex is back in that lead. He's got the advantage on Dan. Mark's going to have to be holding off D-Train. He's just made his way around Steph. Closing in, like he's sitting back a little bit, he's starting to drop away from them. Look at these two flying ahead now. Vortex got 1.5 seconds over Dan over the course of the first lap. And they now got 5 seconds ahead of Steph in third position. She's heavily having to defend that BMW. She's not going to have that top end going down the straight. She manages to hold him off. BMW would have been a little bit of a handful to try and dive through that chicane. It would not have held. Pipes back out on track. That front bar's a little loose. I'm not sure if he may be contending for a little bit of steering issues as well. He's going to have to probably decide to bring that car into the pits. Mark looking to recover some spots up towards that front end off the grid. He knows covered a few positions after not being able to set a qualifying time. Saw himself start from the back. He's now gained 4 positions. He's only a few seconds away from Balaki. Can that Mercedes catch up to the Cadillac? A dirty fellow Audi driver up front. He's one of my favourites to drive. I rather enjoy the car. And jumping on iRacing, it's my GT3 car of choice. Well, it's usually the Ferrari for GT3 on project cars too. sea of Ferraris and McLarens last time we ran the GT3s. It's been a very surprising car choices. Lucky heading to the pits now. I think he's taking any damage. There's a little bit of scuffing on that front bar. It could very well be that it's really strategy. Hype's coming in now. He's got that damage to contend with. If that car wasn't steering well, really very good idea. He's going to be dropping up a lot of pace with that front aero damage, especially while it's not wanting to drive straight at all. Vortex putting further gap over Dan Boone. And the Cadillac now putting a good sized gap over the BMW. There's nearly 4 seconds separating Steph and D-Train now. And we saw D-Train get right up on the tail of Steph on approaching to turn 1. It's now dropped off. Oh no, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm pretty sure that was the final corner. Or is that heading on to back straight? I think he may have just clipped a little bit of curb, or he may have even stomped on the brakes. Yeah, it was that final corner. He may have gone a little too low, clipped some curb. If that car was starting to understeer and he got on the anchors too hard, it would have just completely flick spin that car around. It's intense speed that they take that corner. That's open big opportunity now for D-Train to move up into 3rd position. And that sees Steph now running up in 2nd. Steph, after having breaking many PBs last series, I'm sure she's got it in her for it tonight. She's doing extremely well because she is under the weather as well, so not feeling the best. Still out there racing it out. Hopefully we can all hold out for the remainder of the race. Yeah, Steph with a 48. Seeing some very nice race times being set. A bit of spacing going on now. We're only 4 laps in. Now on lap 5. Vortex has a 6.5 second lead. His last lap of 151.1. His previous lap was a 148. Has dropped off a little bit. Yeah, pretty consistent around that 148, 149. If she can keep that pace up, she's going to be doing well, considering the rest of the cars following behind are all around that 150 mark onwards. That consistency will be key if she wants to be able to have that spot at the podium. With only 6 seconds away from Vortex, anything can happen, as well as pit strategy will come down to it as well. And she's still within a shot to be able to stand at the top of the podium. We're a third of the way through now. It's recovered back up into 5th position after being caught up and coming off on lap 1. there's just been incident, Simo and Hypes. Looks like turn 1 chicanes. Hypes goes through, not sure. Simo may have been holding off to the side to redress that or not. Got the back end of that. How Hype's car's going to be looking. He's already spotting with some delt damage on the front end. Doesn't appear to have taken too much more. May have only just been a little bit of a tap between the two. That's gone for a spin. Good boy, running 8th. And Doon having dropped from the 2nd down into 7th. But he was carrying some very tight laps. We'll see how this lap was. Last lap was a 2:16. That rev limiter. That Cadillac Falarkey. Makes a heck of an amount of noise. Takes a fair bit of curb there, lifts that right hand side up. Back off a little bit of pace. And Marky Mark, 4th position. The Honda getting up towards that front end. He's seeming to quickly catch up to D-Train. With BMW dropping off pace at the moment. Last lap was a 1:52. Where Mark in the Acura did a 1:48.6. The Acura is rather quick and nimble. May miss out a little bit on the long straights around Monza, but it's going to be absolutely flying for those tighter, more technical parts. Really close enough to be able to get that slipstream advantage from D-Train. Probably not going to have too much of an issue of being able to find an opening to get around. Just be able to throw that through and make a quick move. Currently, we have 16.5 seconds separating D-Train from the race lead. Dropping back a little bit more from Vortex now. Vortex getting those 1:48s back in now. There we go, Marky Mark already looking to try and get around. He ran out rather wide, dropping a tyre off into the dirt. Trying to maximise every bit of that track. Really pestering those mirrors. Making himself known. Putting big pressure on this. Look how much tighter that car can hold through those corners. Gets him on the run here, but I don't know if there's going to be enough top end speed to be able to get it. I think he's just ahead. Did just sneak up enough. They're like D-Train have to yield. He's out very wide to be able to carry that pace. This is where it could cost him, where D-Train could start to be able to tuck in that slipstream and put some pressure back onto him. You're going to have to keep that speed going and then run it through the chicanes and then power on out. You need to try and pull away from D-Train as fast as possible. We're on lap 8 now, we're halfway through. Gallen will run through those standings now, so we're in 10th position. As of lap 8 we have Hypes in 10th. And up in 9th position is Simo Simzel. So Sounds like a car's just gone off. I think it was Cool Boy's car. So in 8th position is Cool Boy. He's just being passed. So it's now swapped around. Cool Boy 9th, Simo in 8th. Larky in 7th position. Gamboon 6th position. Listen to the noise of that Audi and the Lamborghini in close proximity to each other. Up in 5th is Mark. In 4th position is D-Train. In 3rd we have Marky Mark. 2nd place is Steph. She's currently 10.8 seconds, and that's just pushed out to 11. With Vortex in the lead, and he's just coming up to the first of the back markers. Pipes moves aside for him, lets him through. Then have Simo up ahead. Just drop back another position. He'd managed to get around Cool Boy and we'll over with them last. Cool Boy slipped out and dropped a fair bit of speed. Corner exit. He's managed to be able to get back around Simo and even put a fair gap on him. Managed to only put 4 seconds already. Potentially a mistake made by Simo, costing him that position back. Cool Boy looks like he's just taken some damage. He's dropped down into 10th position. He's lost a few, and there's a fair bit of damage to that front end of the car. Don't recall if we've seen him pit in yet. The car appears to be alright, there's nothing loose on it. He's doing a fair bit of corrective steering down the straight. It's wanting to pull off to the left a little. They're going to struggle a little bit getting through the chicane. Handles to the left or right. Did not want to turn right. Turn 1 though. There you go, some drivers heading in the pits now. Some fantastic pit lane entry shots here. Actually all the way through the pit lane. Thanks to Project Cars for putting some good camera angles for pit lane on Monza. You know, we can just see going out wide there. Got hype starting to close in on that AMG. Lap 10. 5 to go. Vortex is our race lead. Oh, he runs out a little wide. That's cost him a little bit of pace. He's got a huge safety net, 12.5 seconds at the moment. He's really got that Cadillac dialed in. His last lap of 149.442. Jeff's last lap a 150.2. And that's Cool Boy. Just being lapped by Steph. So he's just gone off in the final corner. He's taken some damage again. That car's already heavily pulling to the left. Appears to be doing so a bit more. Yeah, he's struggling with that car. He probably should have taken down pit lane then. Pipes closing that gap in on Simo now. Hype's doing really well. Hype's only recently joining us, already showing some fantastic skill improvement. He's handling this Cadillac rather well. We have quite a few of our drivers are actually only young as well. So, bigger well done to them for that. Mark now heading into the pits. Timo ended up cutting that chicane. A fair bit of bouncing. Getting up and over those sausage curbs are actually can risk damaging the car. The Hype's trying to stay in that slipstream. We haven't seen our race leaders pit yet. Oh, slip for Steph. Look, that sausage curve through the chicanes. She has a huge gap between herself and D-Train in third. The car's got ample fuel. It's going to be too light. Those Cadillacs actually take the curbs rather well. It doesn't throw them around as much as compared to what we're seeing in the BMW and the Lamborghini. The car's sitting much lower. Suspension not really set to be able to take much of a hit for it. Hypes managed to get around Simo's. Hypes moves up into position 7. I think he may be sporting a little bit of damage. I'm not sure if that was the same damage that we saw before. Just trying to break that slipstream. That AMG is quickly closing in. Runs rather wide, that may put it at a big advantage to Simo to get a run on him down pitch straight. Steph slip. Now got Vortex leading with 24 seconds. Well, lap 13, that means we've got 2 to go. And in comes Steph into the pits. I was wondering why it was taking so long for the camera to try and pan across to her. Sometimes means that they've spun off to the point where the camera can't quite catch them, but she was just peeling off into the pits. That sees D-Train move up into position 2, but he also will need to pit. He had about 17 seconds behind Steph, so the time he pits in, it's not going to be likely to be enough time to be able to come out ahead of Steph. She's been in and out very quick. Well, I think Cool Boy's just had an incident on pit straight. Yeah, that car's crab walking. It is completely crooked. Probably should have gone in to get that steering issue fixed up before. It's missing the wing. That front and rear bar is barely hanging on. There's some shattered glass as well by the look of it. That's been a pretty solid hit. Dan up in third position. I don't think we've seen Dan pit in yet or not. They're currently 4 seconds behind if Dan isn't in the pit. Oh, we've just had a disconnect. Just lost Dan Boone. He may have actually even retired out before. In comes D-Train now. Serving his mandatory pit. Vortex will need to pit this lap. He hasn't been in yet. He gets to come in, it'll be a DQ. He's had a fantastic drive. And bringing him up of the lap times. See what the fastest lap of the race is. Let's say 1:48.037. That's been done by Vortex. Can he start the series with a clean sweep? Took pole position. He's currently got 53-second lead. I think Dan may have actually even pit. Vortex pitting now. Got a huge 53 seconds over Steph. Sometimes he's in and out in pit. He should come out at that same gap as before. They hadn't really dropped off any pace. Going like 14. Dan has not pit, which I don't think he has. He's going to have to do it this lap as well. And that will see Steph move back up into position 2. Vortex now back out on the track. Held the lead whilst making his mandatory pit requirement. And Dan must have pit because he stayed out on track. So he's in position 2. There's 7 seconds between himself and Steph. Steph may have actually had quite a lengthy pit stop, costing her some time. We lost Dan Boone. I'd say he left the session rather than a disconnect. Not sure if he may have retired out just before and then exited. Or if he's suffered a disconnect. Now there's some adverse weather events around all different areas that are going to be affecting things. See a little bit of ghostly debris on the track in 2 very different locations from the stream to what I'm seeing as well. Looks like it may be the boot lid to Cool Boy's car. Here we are. Vortex on approach to take the checkered flag home. Take the win for the opening round. He's got 25 seconds to spare, so he's probably going to do a smoky across the line. Way to start the series. Well done to Vortex. What a drive from the Audi. Actually, no, Dan's running, so I'm not sure what I'm on about there. So it's a different driver that's left. Dan Boone takes second, so we did see him go off mid-race after that lock-up in the final corner, so he's recovered back up into position 2. Actually, no, we've seemed to have lost one of the marks. That's who's disconnected. The marquee, we see Steph take podium in position 3. Marky Mark in 4th. D-Train in 5th. I'm not sure if he's ran out of juice just before the finish line. He has not crossed. Marky Mark's just brought in. Wondering if someone's going to come along and give him a friendly push across the line. How narrow is that? That's going to be horrendous. Oliver Balaki is slowing down, wondering what's going on. There we go. Cool boy. Oh no, his car's locked in, now glitched a little bit on my screen. So sees Balaki in 5th position, Hypes in 6th. D-Train having to exit out to pits. Timo Zimzel coming up in 8th position. There's 28 seconds to finish up the last laps. He's got some heavy damage there. Flies that car across the finish line. Then we have results for Division 2 opening race. Vortex takes the win, and I think he's managed to make that a clean sweep for the start, with the fastest lap being a 1:48.037. So well done for Vortex. And the rest of the standings on the podium, we have P2 is Dan Boone, and then in P3 is Steph, and then we have Marky Mark, Balaki, Hypes, D-Train, Simo Simzel, Coolboy, and Mark. So then he retired on lap 11, so that's who we saw drop out, so he didn't actually disconnect. Still receives points for the round. So we'll be bringing in our podium finishes, Vortex, Dan and Steph. That'll just be a moment as we add them in. We'll see them join in a moment. And congratulations, Vortex. What a drive. Clean sweep to start.
Yeah, thanks.
That Cadillac didn't want to slow down at all.
No, I had a couple of sketchy moments.
Yeah, it could have definitely gone wrong at any time. At least you had a nice little safety net for that last back anyway.
Yeah, well, I thought Dan might have got me in quali when I saw his first lap.
Yeah, the second lap I was on a better lap, but I hit the big sausage curb at the second chicane and it destroyed me lap. So
No.
I wouldn't have got that lap, but I wouldn't have got a low 47.
No, that was getting pretty tight. That was getting very quick. And even seeing 148s being done in the race too, so very quick times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a shame I had my big whoopsie at the Parabolica early on.
Yeah, what happened there? Just all of a sudden, just saw the car like she just bit in and
I just
wetted off the track.
Yeah, I hit the inside curb.
Ah, yep.
In that little gutter, and it just hooked the front in, and the back went around real quick. So
yeah, I nearly had that a couple of times.
All that runoff. Yeah, there's a few other drivers that end up biting the inside wall instead of going off. So
yeah, no, I was pretty lucky. I used all the track, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's what it's there for.
Yeah, that's it. And then to recover back up and take podiums, that was a good drive.
Yeah, I was happy with that. It was good. It's good to see Steph on the podium. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so probably a mouthful of butter menthols. Try and get through this bit.
Just about. Bottle of water, butter menthols. They're good to go.
Yeah, good drive. And first podium, awesome. I think. So well
done.
It
is. It's awesome. Just want to shout out to Gallon for helping us out with the setup, even though he's not racing this week. Really appreciate it, man.
He's on the stream. He's on.
That's awesome.
They wouldn't give me their Cadillac setup for me Audi, mate.
Ah, how rude of them.
I know.
Hey, we could try next week if you want to.
Surely between about 6 of them, they'd have a decent one sorted out.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could
good
give
to
it a
see
go
something separate those Cadillacs. So
yeah.
I was catching him, and I had a couple of whoopsies at turn 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
that's
holding
yeah.
off it
Oh,
in P2 for ages and even
Yeah.
matching the pace of Vortex for a good while. And then
Yeah,
after
I-
you had that slip on that curve in turn 1, that sort of dropped that back a fair bit.
yeah, I
There's
had
so
about
many-
3 of those, but
So many
I did my
places where you
fastest
can lose
lap.
lap.
I did my fastest lap in the race instead of quali. How silly of me.
Getting
You're
into the
doing it the
rhythm.
wrong way round.
That's
Yep.
it. Nah, consistency, it's all that matters.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what gets you up towards that front end, is just keeping those consistent laps each time. So well done.
Thank you. It's good
And,
fun.
it'll be exciting to see how we go again for next week, as well as it might be a little bit different for some of the cars. So for Red Bull Ring, a little bit more technical. So
Yeah,
it's be good to see
Yeah.
how the Cadillacs hold out for that.
she'll be alright. We'll tune her up, she'll be alright.
Bring an extra bottle of nitrous, you reckon?
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
200
Yeah.
shot.
200 shot next week. 200 shot.
that's it. At least 100, get the 2 or the 300, come on.
Yeah, right.
That's all
Double
that,
shot.
that pinging noise is that's coming out of those Cadillacs. So
Yeah.
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 Damn it! JT knows about it. Damn it!
Disguised as a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Well, under the passenger seat.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Congratulations, guys, and good luck next week with Red Bull.
Thanks, JT. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
JT.
All right.
Well done, Dan. Vortex.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
guys.
well done, guys. See you next week.
See yous.
Bye.
Good luck to all the different drivers for there.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Thanks for everything, JT.
No problem.
See?
Then we have
See.
our podium finishes. Vortex taking the win in the opening round, making it a clean sweep with that pole and fastest lap. Then we see Dan Boone in P2 and Steph in P3. So we'll be having a break as we get set up for the next session. We'll have Division 1 race under the same conditions, so at Monza with 15 minutes of qualifying and 15 laps for the race. So do stay tuned. We'll be back with the start of that at 8:45 AEST. So we'll be back very shortly. And welcome back. We are now heading off into Division 1 session for the opening round of the Pagnian Imports GT3 Challenge. And for round 1 we're at Monza GP. Track length is 5.79 kilometers with 11 turns. Qualifying session is starting at 10 AM and weather conditions are clear. And if anything's to go by from what we saw from the racing in Division 2, it's going to be some very tight racing in Division 1. And then we've got a more mix of cars for Division 1, where we saw the weapon of choice being the Cadillac, where they've pretty much got a good variety of cars having been selected here with the drivers at the moment. So it'll be interesting just to see how they go throughout the session. We've got a little bit of a hangover as it loads across. Currently got 10 drivers loaded in. Drivers scrambling out on track now. A much more different mix. Starting to see a Cadillacs for this session. We've got Philly running the Nissan GTR. Start from the bottom. Doggy Daddy in the Mercedes AMG. Nice Hot Wheels livery of that car. McCliff in the Bentley Continental. Oh, lag spike. Someone's joining in. Maybe a couple still load into the session. Yeah, Lindsay Jack. I think that's Mercedes. Yes, we had Philly in the GTR. Oh, disconnect. That's Chai J having some issues. AMG also picked by Wirra. Corby running the McLaren. That's Mercedes as well for Pretender. Oh, I think we just had a DQ. You see a red number appear up on the screen and then quickly disappeared. So must mean, yeah, it was Head Farmer. Copped a grid place penalty and then disqualified for further speeding. He's going to have to rejoin back into the session. Still keep probably a couple of grid places. Moving on, Skiddy in the Cadillac. Echo Dog in the Mercedes. Taijo and Dirty Monkey both disconnecting. There we go. Loading back in. Taijo's rejoined the session, as has Dirty Monkey. Oh, disconnected. Head Farmer has made his way back in. He's running the Ferrari. That sounds like, yes, it is a Porsche for Taijo. A good amount of variety out there. Common car seems to be the Mercedes at this point. A few drivers picking the AMG. Try and jump on board for a lap. He's making approach that control line. Braking as late as possible down into turn 1. Cautious of those curves so it doesn't throw that car out. That lap by Coco was a 146.3. Very nice time. And to the second chicanes. Takes a lot of curb. And Delta's just under a tenth quicker than that previous lap. That's going to make it a low 146. Oh no, Dirty Monkeys disconnects. He's in the chat for those that can't see chat. Having some IP flashes with at least 5 other drivers in the lobby, so he's not able to get back in, which is why we keep seeing the join and disconnect. Last corner for the final turn. And he ends up making up heaps of time. Through sector 2, Coco did lose some pace. He's lost that gain that he had, but then got a good 2 temps out of that third sector. So he's definitely got some more in it to be able to break that 146 margin. We're up qualifying second with 147. So that's 2 Mercedes up the front. And Philly into the Nissan GTR. And Dirty, if you're still watching the stream, send me a message. I'd be more than happy to be able to help you out with trying to fix any potential IP conflicts. We'll do some troubleshooting with Pretender to fix up. And then so he's having that issue with himself and Wira the other week, and it seems to resolve that. I think we've checked out all the cars. We'll try and jump on board for some laps with the drivers in the different cars. Been on board with Mercedes. Oh, bad time and cross over to Philly. What a solid hit. Just as we're getting to hear the roar of that car, I think Pretender running Mercedes as well. Board that from the Cadillac. Sorry, Bentley here with Mick Cliff. Yeah, Steph, definitely the commentator's curse there. Got 7 minutes left to qualifying. It came very close down to that inside curb. You can easily grab that car and throw it. Porsche for Tyjo. Philly put traction control back on. Corby just up ahead, so on board the McLaren. And jumped in for the Ferrari. much quieter in comparison to the rest of the GT3s. It's a very stable car, but just needing to be careful of that engine braking. Can really displace the car. Those rear-mounted engines. Got 5.5 minutes left now. And Jack qualifying in second position. Keiko's parked the car up, he's probably pretty set. Oh, we've got DK. He was late to join the session. He's only going to have a couple of minutes to be able to qualify. So 145 is holding pole. And Jack with a 146. And we've got a few 147s. Whereas got nearly half a second difference between himself and Taijo's time. Doesn't improve that lap. I think DK's just disconnected as well. He's going to have a minute to be able to sort that connection issue out. Okay, still got the car parked up. I think he may be fairly satisfied with his 145.1. That time's going to be incredibly hard to beat. And Vortex, we're missing Sami as well, so he's away for work, I believe, tonight. So he can't make round one, so we'll be back next week. A busy week for most this week. I'll bring up to see how many grid places that Head Farmer has got. So he's just the one grid place. When it disqualified him from the session. Usually at least gives 2 grid places before it does that. He's rather lucky, it's only given that 1 place. Head Farmer needing to be able to try and go up those positions a little bit more to be able to compensate, and he's done so there. He's moved up in the 7th. DK's back in. Surprisingly, we've only 2.5 minutes left of the session. Just let him back in. Should have enough time to be able to get an out lap done. To suffer another disconnect here, it's going to be unfortunate. You'll miss the start. And a few drivers having to rush and do a PS update just before. Unfortunately, it wasn't actually a compulsory update, so slightly catching a few off guard, but once you've actually selected and started it, you gotta just sit back and let it do its thing. So the same thing happened with Simo, having to try and get into the qualifying section with only minutes remaining, getting back late and then having to get stuck with that PS system update. Taijo's qualified 4th in the Porsche. Okay, leading the way with the Mercedes. And another Mercedes qualifying in for 146.4. He's 1.3 seconds away from Coco. And Another Mercedes for 1, 2, and 3. 46.9 was the time to beat Wira's best lap so far. Doesn't improve it there, still holds third. Mercedes dominating at the front at this stage. Will that hold off in the race? Oh, someone's just gone off in behind Mick Cliff. Not sure whose car that was. There's DK's out lap, just crosses the control line with 10 seconds left on the clock. That means he cannot afford a mistake here. An off-track spin, getting held up is going to severely impact his qualifying. At least he has made it into the session with joining late. That means he'll at least see the start of the race. Cars now brought back into the pits, except for DK, Skitty, Wira and Coco. Can that pole position be stolen? So Coco's just crossed the line. Oh, Wira just dropped off track. That's going to cost him. So he practices pit entrance. 80 seconds to get last laps done. Skitty finishing up his last lap of qualifying. He's currently in 11th. Does he improve? Doesn't improve that position. That just leaves DK now. Coming along that back straight. He's got nothing to lose on this lap, so he can go absolute flat stick. Nice and tight through that final corner. Where will he move? He moves up a few positions. Briefly see, but we'll see that now. So we have Coco pole position with that 1:45, 1:35. That is a fantastic lap time. Then the rest of the grid we have is NZ Jack, Wira, Tyjo, Mick Cliff, Corby, and we've got Head Farm, who's got the grid place penalty, so he moves down to position 8, and that sees Doggy Daddy start from position 7. Then we have Philly Manili and DK Rush, and then we have Pretender and Skitty. So I'll make sure that I actually just get rid of those results before I progress to the next. Make my job a little bit harder in doing all this afterwards. Now over on the grid. Vortex, yeah. The car comes to use the 200 shot of nitrous. Also got that installed in the Mercs, not just the Cadillacs. We've got 3 Mercedes starting up the front. For a grid start, they may bog down a little bit more compared to some of the other cars. Or can bog in a little bit, so we're keeping an eye on Corby in the McLaren. Is probably going to get away to a nice start, as will Philly in the Skyline back in position 9. Usually in the GT3 class, you see the Lamborghini absolutely fly several positions off from a grid start in the GT3s. For many pure GT3 fans, a little bit of sacrilege, make him do standing starts. Drivers are all hit ready. Light's got to go green. For Division 1's opening race. Okay, edging forward. What a start. Completely pulls away, puts a car length between himself and Jack already. That Porsche is flying up along the inside. Okay, moves over to block, so he's now taking that inside line. He's going to have to hold that now. Gets that curb, loses a little bit of pace. Looking to be in a little bit of trouble. That Porsche already probing his mirrors. Doggy Daddy gets away nicely in the Merc in 5th. We're seeing a little bit of movement. Oh, a bit of chaos. This car's going every which way at the second chicane. Tyjo was caught up in that. Troop DK was caught, has dropped a few spots. Like Nick got caught up a little as well. Hey, Vortex, yeah, main course meal of Turn 1 Carnage. They were just holding off just for the next chicane. But in saying that, they managed to get through that relatively okay. They haven't dropped back too much. Head Farmer's probably going to be in a bit of strife here. He's got a lot of more top end speed cars here sitting in his draft. He's going to have inside line advantage here, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold enough ground. The Mercedes is going to be a lot harder to try and pull up and turn in. Look at Philly trying to sneak up and around. Oh, touch from Skitty and Philly. Skitty turns Philly around. Over and lets him through. Coco still out in the lead, so he's got a good gap now. Managing to hold off relatively nice. 1.6 seconds only being on lap 2. Where it's dropped back from the race leaders by another 4 seconds. We've got Doggy Daddy up in 4th position. That's 4 Mercedes leading the way. We've got Head Farmer in the Ferrari. DK sitting hot tight on the tail of Pretender's Merc. He's struggling to try and stay in that tow. Pretender really pulling away. Already in lap 3. Most drivers actually spaced out by a fair few seconds. Closest to is DK and Pretender. up above the roof of the McLaren with DK. You can see on the main straight that Merc is pulling away from the McLaren. See DK able to brake much later, much more nimble through the chicane. You have to use that to his advantage to try and get the one up on Pretender. And he's going to have to make sure he gets those corner exits perfect each time. If he loses that speed advantage, he's going to have DK making a move on him very quickly. Good dog. Seem to be unstoppable in these opening laps. He's following through from that fantastic 1 minute 45 in qualifying. Look at even that lap from lap 3, a 1:46.3. Lap 4, a 1:46.6. And Jack qualifying second with a 1:46. We're seeing very quick times being set by the race lead. He's got no slipstream advantage, most likely running heavier as well. Battle between DK and Pretender and Shoes. DK much closer now, he's probing for a way pass. He started to get that opportunity as Pretender didn't quite get that exit. The next corner he's pulled away a little bit more. He's going to get him a good one here. Carried a heap of speed through that turn. Pretender not caving into any pressure here. And how much he's seeing DK in and out of his mirrors. He's just driving a straight line, not really playing defensive much with it. Car just managing to help him at this stage. This is where DK loses a lot of that gain. Down, pit straight. Oh no, he's going to make it here. Pretender spins the car and he's going to lose some spots. That's 2 positions to drop. He had Doggy Daddy that was on approach, he had to wait for him. It was actually quite a nice little spin. Ended up facing him the right way around. It's nothing worse when you're facing the wrong way, trying to get the car back around without making contact to anyone. He hasn't lost too much, he's only about 4 seconds behind DK now. He's going to be able to recover from that. Yeah, Project Cars 2 eSports still exists, yep, for sure. Been going strong for a good couple of years now. No, we don't run Xbox. The formats we've got is PlayStation for Project Cars 2, and then PC for iRacing. lap 6, we're approaching the halfway point. Nikolaki. This track sucks. Wasn't the strongest race tonight. Look at the current standings. As at lap 6, we have Taijo in 11th with Corby's suffered a disconnect, so we have dropped a car on Taijo's dealing with a fair bit of damage. At front bars flapping about, and he's heading into the pits to deal with that now. We've got Cliff in position 10, Giddy in 9th. We've got Philly in 8th position. Starting to recover some ground, so he had the spin around where Skitty gave him that tap at the chicane. It was lucky that it was a quick little spin, so he didn't take any damage that's going to be holding him back. So he's just got to try and recover that ground to reclaim as many positions back as he can. And he seems to be doing it because he's pulled away from Skitty by 7 seconds, and he's quickly closing in on Pretender. He's only got 2 seconds, and then it's not far off from the rest of them, so he's only got about 9 seconds till he can catch up to 5th position. So he's definitely not out of the race. And as we start seeing some cars peel off into the pits, we've got some big opportunities for that car to be able to get through. And that Skyline does handle nicely. He's going to be able to really push that car to the limits. And we have Pretender in position 7. And it looks like there are a fair few just lapping Taijo at the moment, after he's just been in and got that car fixed up. Doggy Daddy running in 6th. DK Rush in 5th. Ed Farmer running 4th. We're in P3. He's 11 seconds away from position 2. He's about 4 or 5 seconds away from position 4. He's not going to be feeling too much pressure from that Ferrari just yet, so he can try and focus on closing the gap to those other Mercedes up front. And we have NZ Jack in position 2. Lap time starting to get down. That last lap was a 1:47.2. That time around 1:47.5. Now race lead Coco, who was teetering around that 5-second gap, is also setting 1:47.5s. Jack could very well start to close that gap a little bit. With only 5 seconds difference, it could easily come down to a pit stop. Philly bringing the car into the pits now. As he reaches the halfway point. Like it was a little bit of a slow stop. Looks like a little bit of a premature pull up to the box. He wasn't dealing with any damage to the car. He was coming in. Well, there's some spacing going on. We'll quickly bring up these timings. See who's got the fastest lap of the race. Appears to be a 1:46.360. And that's Coco Dog. And he did set that very early on. He saw a clean sweep to the start of the opening round for Division 2. Could we see it again in Division 1? It even make it more spectacular as we all, not only just in project cars, but then also for our opening round in the GT3 Championship on iRacing. We saw a clean sweep open up on that as well. Billy's back out on track, sitting in behind Mick Cliff. Okay, Mick blocking that right rear in the Bentley. Going to be a huge amount of top end speed there for the Bentley, but that Skyline's going to have a great tow. May have been a little bit ambitious to have swung out just so early. Put him on a bad line to be able to carry a lot of speed through that final turn. It would be nice to have swung out if he could have held that line down pitch straight and try and get him under braking coming into turn 1. That's where it all came undone before for Philly when he got spun around. He's one of the first drivers to head into the pits. So he's going to be recovering a fair few positions as the rest start to peel off. With only 5 laps remaining now. And start seeing a fair few decide to head off. DK looking to take on the Ferrari now. He got around Pretender's Mercedes before. A lucky spin going through turn 1. Trying to reclaim that ground back up from Mick. Coco Dog leading the way on lap 10, 5 to go. See NZ Jack just coming through the corner. I'll approach that back straight. There's nearly 6 seconds now separating position 1 and 2. This pace, Coco's probably going to be looking to pit on lap 14. Most likely Jack will probably follow suit and pit in at the exact same time. We're still dropping back from our race leaders, but he's still getting in at super quick times, 1:48 very consistently. It's just that our first two are setting 1:47s consistently. So at least nearly 1.1 to 1.2 seconds quicker a lap. Which is why there's now a 22-second gap between Wira and the race lead. Whereas still 4 seconds away from position 4. Head Farmer doing well, holding up the 4th position for a good portion of the race. Ferrari holding out. Slowly got DK closing in the McLaren. and just having been and saved his mandatory pit. For Tyjo's Porsche, he's definitely seen better days. That would just be visual damage to the car. Nothing appears to be loose. It's taken some huge hits. BK moves up a position as Head Farmer heads off into the pits. I'll see Doggy move up into 5th. Don't think Doggy has hit at all yet. Quick release for the Head Farmer. Sure, Mick hit rather early. He did get caught up in that incident early on. Saw him head off as the others did. If that is the case, it means Philly and Mick are racing for position. Skyline struggling to try and close that gap back up with the Bentley now. It's really pulling ahead. Just come on to lap 13. Okay, is our race lead. Got 7.3 seconds over Jack. Again, unfortunate couldn't be there to be driving tonight. In comes DK for his pit. He was closely catching up to the Head Farmer. Can he get in and out of the pits in time? Did he get enough time ahead to be able to have that advantage? Oh, it's going to be very close. I think he's going to just be ahead of him. That was a super quick pit stop. That means DK just needs to hold off. It's 2 laps. So we're up in 4th position. He's got to head in pits. That means we're coming on to lap 14. We'll see Coco and Jack both head into the pits. If Jack isn't already doing so now, I think he may actually be. Opting to pit in before Coco has. He's going to need to do the same as well. Is he going to pit this lap? Is he going to hold off? It out of the way now. Okay, we'll need to hit this lap, otherwise it'll be a DQ. He's holding off to the last moment. He's got a huge safety net. He should be losing a position as he heads into the pits. Going to be if his pit strategy doesn't go to plan. Show his car, he's just catching up to there? I think that's Pretenders. Surely not. It is Pretenders. Mercedes is closing in on. Pretender won't have to really worry about the blue flag here. Kitty pitting now. Here comes Coco. This is going to have to go very smooth. Let's cautious on that approach. You can't afford to cop any post-race time penalties for speeding in the pits. He's got 30 seconds leeway to play with before Jack approaches. Wow, super quick stop. Ample time. Means Coco remains the lead for the entirety of the race so far. Flash of the lights. Definitely going to be impressed with himself tonight. That's been a solid drive. All he's got to do is keep it clean and safe for this last lap. And that should be a clean sweep. And the head farmers managed to get DK. May have been an error made by DK because he's lost a lot of ground. And it's now got Mick in the Bentley sitting hot tight on his tail. Look at that, very late braking. There's no holding back from Mick Cliff here. If he wants that position, he's got to make a move this lap. There he goes, swings out. It's going to be interesting to try and pull it up for the chicanes. Just sneaks in. Surprised that Bentley is actually able to hold that very tight line. Fantastic driving there. Doggy Daddy also closing in on DK. There goes Coco Dog, he's just crossed the line, taking clean sweeps are the victory for the opening race. Well done, Coco. And Z Jack taking second. Vortex check his car for nitrous. Might be the secret to a lot of them here. Some super quick times. There goes Wira on the podium, taking P3. Head Farmer position 4. Solid drive in that Ferrari. Cliff. Finishing lights happy with a 5th position. Good drive in the Bentley. Oh, DK and Doggy so close to each other. DK takes 6th, Doggy in 7th. Philly and Pretender racing it out to the very end here. Philly finishes ahead in 8th, Pretender in 9th. We have time to see all the drivers cross the line. Taijo's already crossed the control line. The last to finish here is Skitty taking 10th. There we are. Division 1 done and dusted for round 1. Coco Dog taking the victory and then also securing that fastest lap, so that means a clean sweep after having set the pole position as well. Some very quick times being laid down by Coco Dog, so well done there. And then also on the podium we have is NZ Jack in position 2 and Wera in position 3, and the rest of the standings are ahead farmer Mick Cliff, DK Rush, Doggy Daddy, Philly Manilli, Pretender, Skitty, Ty Joe, and then we did have Corby disconnect, so very unfortunate for Corby there as well. And then again, only lap down for Ty Joe, so very tight field there. So we'll be inviting in Coco, Jack, and Wera in a moment. We'll have them joining in very shortly. And on my screen, the chatter, all the drivers quite alive. I got them all loading in now. There we go. Congratulations, Coco. Clean sweep to the start.
Hey, thanks, JT. Yeah.
Merc was doing incredibly well.
Yeah, it was really good. Me and Ad's been working on it through the week and just trying to get it over the curbs. It's been a pretty good top end. Sort of can't keep up with it even if you're in the draft, so worked out pretty good around Monza at least.
Yeah, very surprising for the Mercedes. So yeah, I did notice it was able to take those curves without really displacing it too much.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it's performed well. So yeah, the fastest lap 146 in the race. So they'd be qualifying 145. Some big pace out of that Merc. So well done.
Thanks, JT.
And congrats, Jack.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, I'm happy with the race. Just Coco, you're on another level today. Awesome race. But, you know, considering I had 15 minutes of practice before and not thinking I was going to race, I'm happy with the race overall. And congrats, Coco.
Yeah, well done. Just for a quick jump in like that and be able to still grab podium.
Thanks, mate.
And congrats, Wera, up on the podium. So it's making it all Mercedes for the podium.
Yeah, it's good to see, JT, mate. Awesome job, Coco. Awesome job, Jack. Well done, guys. I certainly didn't have the pace, mate, to sort of keep up with the top two, mate. But I was just happy to plod along in third, mate, and let those two boys up front battle it out, mate. So, no, it was good to see all the Mercs up there.
I was going to say, you had a nice little gaffer there just to be able to go for that Sunday drive and
yeah, mate, it was good,
around
mate.
Monza. Put the arm up on the door.
Arm up was on the door, mate. I was out there having a good look around, mate. So, no, not too bad at all.
Yeah, done well. Congrats, guys. It was a solid drive, and hopefully you can do the same thing next week with Red Bull.
Hopefully.
Thanks, JT.
Thanks, JT.
No worries. There we have our podium finishes. Coco taking the victory, Jack in position 2, and Wera in position 3. So as we mentioned, we'll be heading over into Monza for next week, so it's going to be pretty exciting to see just what sort of difference we have with the different cars. And I've just jumped out of my screen, so I've just got to bring myself back up to load up our schedule for the rest of the series. So it is that 5 rounds, and tonight being the opening round, that means we're heading off to Red Bull Ring next week for round 2, so it's going to be exciting to see these guys bust these GT3s around Red Bull. So don't forget to hit that follow button if you haven't done so you can be notified when we go live. So we'll be back on Thursday night at 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you want to see more GT3 racing, then we are also back on Monday night, same time on iRacing for the GT3s. So thanks for tuning in, hope to see you trackside next time.